All right. Well, I am so excited today to be speaking with Adam Castro from Mercy College. Adam and I are co-facilitators of the Emerging Enrollment Leaders Tract for the Institute of Higher Education. Adam, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
All right. Thank you, Kristen. It's great to be here today. Really excited to have a quick chat with you today about the conference. My name is Adam Castro. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment Management at Mercy College. Been in higher education for 20 years now. It's pretty hard to believe. And I've been at Mercy for just under 5 years. Mercy College is an incredible place and a very rewarding place to work. We're a 4-year private college in New York State. We have 3 campuses, our flagship in Dobbs Ferry, and we have metro campuses in Midtown Manhattan and the Bronx as well, serving just about 9,000 students across those campuses, as well as distance learning. Mercy is one of the most diverse colleges in the country, and it has been an incredible place to work and really evolve in my career because it's truly one of those places that is just intensely focused on student success. And our president, Tim Hall, often says, Mercy is not a place where we expect a student from day one to be fully prepared to be a successful college student. We at Mercy want to be student ready and be able to walk students through the educational journey. And so when you have that kind of mindset and outlook every single day, work is fun. And so I have a lot of fun at Mercy College.
That's wonderful. And I was a first generation college student, and I was not ready. And I was fortunate myself to go to an institution that was student ready and was able to really help me through that process. So that's amazing to hear. And Mercy College, I'm sure, are leaders in that aspect. And I just think about everyone who's going to be attending the Institute for Higher Education and hearing that story and learning more from you as a leader and as a coach and mentor to some of these rising stars, these admission counselors and assistant directors and directors of admissions that are looking to advance in their careers. So we'll talk a little bit about that, of course. But Adam, I know you and I are co-facilitating this track along with our friends Kelly Hart from Shepherd and Dana Dobo from High Point University, who aren't able to be with us today. They're certainly missed, but the 4 of us have had a lot of great conversations about the Institute. When I was talking with Matt Hames not too long ago, live on LinkedIn, I confess this is going to be my first Institute. I'm really excited about it. You've attended a few of these, so why are you excited about it? And tell us a little bit about why the Institute is different from what other conferences are happening out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was been super lucky to be involved with the Institute since day one. I've been to the last 2 institutes over the last 2 years, and certainly during the pandemic, having the Institute that first year was like such a blessing to be able to get out in the real world and see people again after such a long hiatus. But my story kind of goes back almost 15 years. Where I actually went to Snowmass Institute when I was kind of quote unquote an emerging leader in higher education on the admission side. And I often joke with Patricia Mabin because we go way back, and I joke with her all the time. I said, I went to Snowmass, which is just an incredible experience, but I was far too young and inexperienced to really get the most out of that experience in that conference. And so, ever since this kind of came about and kind of reemerged as a place for emerging leaders and people with potential in higher education, Lord knows we need many more of those today more than ever. I just think it's a wonderful opportunity for people to get exposed to like-minded people from all over the country that kind of share the same passion. And be able to learn from each other. I think one of the biggest challenges we have in our field is this ability to benchmark yourselves against other talented people in the field. We get so insulated and so insular on our campus, and we just grind it out. And we know Mercy College back and forth, upside, downside, and everything in between. And we could be doing a great job at Mercy, but unless you get exposed to people in other colleges and around the field, you really don't have a way to benchmark yourself or improve. And so I think the Institute, above all else, really gives us that canvas to be able to benchmark ourselves and learn about, where we need to improve and where we're thriving in the field.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm excited about that because, I've been to my fair share of conferences. I too have been in higher ed and was a chief enrollment officer and for about 20 years. And, you go to these conferences and so often you're just session after session of listening. And yeah, you get some really good nuggets and you do get some networking time at these conferences. But I think what I'm most excited about at the Institute is it really is the opportunity to learn from each other and organically have those conversations and, having the space to follow up with our beachside chats in the afternoon and evenings to continue to have those conversations. So I know you were involved in those, coordinating some of those beachside chats last year. What might people look forward to with just that, like just the relaxed atmosphere and why is that so important?
Yeah, I mean, why it's important and why the Institute, I think, is special is because it is probably the one event experience that allows what you're learning and what you're taking in. It gives you time to breathe, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's the beauty of the beachside chat. So, we're going to work hard during the day. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to be interfacing in a very professional way. Then we're going to give you a little bit of a break, let that all sink in. And then we're going to move over to the beachside chats, which are much more casual. Hey, maybe you want to get a little light beer, and bring that to the chat. And expand the mind a little bit and get a little bit more creative than we would in kind of the more buttoned up sessions. Yeah. And so I think it really gives everybody kind of the opportunity to kind of let their hair down a little bit, be a little bit more casual, throw some things against the wall, see if they stick. You know what I mean? And maybe you're not comfortable in doing that in the morning, but I think the casual atmosphere and the way everybody kind of, just relaxes the shoulders a little bit in the afternoon, gives us the opportunity to take that conversation even deeper.
Yeah. And Adam, one of our, I think, first conversations this year, as we were starting to discuss this tract, what I appreciated hearing from you as well as from Kelly is the humanity of us as enrollment leaders or working in this space, in higher education, and how important it is to really be able to connect with people, to be vulnerable in a sense. Too often with enrollment, people may put us in these tunnels and think we're all so competitive, we don't want to speak to each other, and it's a very high pace, career path. But really the beauty of that is that we are all experiencing this together, and that opportunity to be vulnerable. And, I think that I'm looking forward to the beachside chats for that reason. I think myself, just again, to just have those real conversations. Does anything stick out to you from those types of conversations last year? What were you hearing from, for example, from emerging leaders? Like, what are some of the, I don't want to say anxiety, but like, what are some of the things that they really had to kind of just relax to have a conversation about a certain topics that are really meaningful to especially early professionals?
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I mean, these do turn into a bit of a therapy session sometimes, which I think is critically important because we just redline it all year long. Right. So we're going to have this week where we can kind of take a step back and discuss some of these things. I think the thing that jumped out to me the most, particularly with the emerging leaders last year, was just the confidence level. These are incredibly talented people that have been very successful, that have been selected to go to this prestigious institute by their institution, that have invested in their professional development. But there was still this underlying feeling was, I'm not doing enough. And I think that's something that kind of grips all of us. I think particularly early in our careers, especially if we want to make a life out of this, which many of us do and will. And so I think just hearing that it's okay, that or throwing out some ideas or things that they've been able to accomplish, and just getting props from the other people, in the circle,
Mhm.
and getting that reinforcement, I think goes a really long way. And I think the other piece that really jumped out to me was a lot of people just didn't feel heard by their institution.
Hmm.
These are people that have great ideas, that think they're moving the needle, that think they could be managing things better than maybe they're being managed, and maybe they're not yet been given that opportunity. And hopefully, they use the institute as the springboard to give them the confidence to go back to their institutions
Yeah.
and make
Yes.
that change happen, advocate for themselves, work with their supervisors, work with college leadership, and get yourself in the room to
Right.
start making some of those major decisions.
Right. That's so important. So switching gears to the morning sessions, that's part of what our tract is designed to do, is to help to provide them best practices. We've got tracks such as, communicating to your leadership, how to effectively communicate to your leadership so that you are heard and understood, and you have and you're building that rapport. We have tracks such as how do you leverage, how do you access, how do you analyze, how do you leverage data to tell the story and to support your goals and your team's goals and the institution's goals. So you are going to be facilitating a few tracks. What's the one thing or two things that you hope those emerging leaders in your tracks are going to come away with after this institute?
Yeah, the biggest one is so clear to me because I wish I knew this, 20 years ago when I was starting out. And it's about connecting the dots across campus and not only becoming an imperative in your department, whether that be admissions, financial aid, marketing. You're going to do that anyway. That's your profession. But
Yes.
how you become a well-rounded enrollment manager or leader in this field is to be able to connect the entire campus community into your department or your ecosystem.
Right.
So I wish from day one I would have, spent a lot more time learning financial aid early on, a lot more time with the registrar. I would have learned about budgeting. I would have learned about course section management. The things that we have to think about every day now as enrollment leaders, but were completely foreign to me. When I was first starting out and I was hitting the road as an admissions recruiter, right? And so I think if I can bring anything to the Institute, it's going to be this idea that you need to go back. And if you have holes in your knowledge base outside of your area of expertise, you need to fill those holes.
Yes, so important. And how do you advocate for yourself to get that experience? Like I recall being an admission counselor and looking at, positions for advancement, whether it was within my own institution or outside other institutions, and thinking, I need budget experience. Like, how do I get budget experience if I don't have an opportunity to manage a budget? So, you think about these things, and I think this institute and it's going to be a safe space to have these conversations and to learn these critical tools that are going to level you up as an emerging leader. So that's going to be exciting. And I'm sure we're going to learn from each other too. There's always something, even us as experienced enrollment leaders, we still are going to learn so much from each other. So I do look forward to that as well. So this has been awesome, Adam. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today. I know, it's so important that as enrollment professionals, we do take time for ourselves for this professional development. But I have to surprise you and share with you, if you hadn't seen my live interview with Matt Hames, he did out you a little bit and said, you are a runner and you likely will be running on the beach while we're down there. So, again, if there's anybody that wants some one-on-one time with Adam, I'm going to be the one to say, find out what time he's going to be on the beach taking a jog, because I'm sure they're going to get some quality time with you, of course, at the sessions and the beachside chats. But what's a little extra time with Adam Castro in the morning on the beach? So thank you so much. If you want more information as you're watching this, we do have the link to the Institute for Higher Education in our underneath of our live video here. you can go to the Institute for Higher Ed and online get all the information about it, about where we're having it, Clearwater Beach, June 4th through 8th. And if you need any type of encouragement or reasons why, or to help you argue for your institution to support you, reach out to Adam and to me through LinkedIn messaging. We'd be happy to connect with you, answer any of your questions, and really would love to see you there. So I'm gonna say goodbye, but before we stop the live broadcast, Adam, what's the last few things you want to say as far as takeaways for this?
I'll just say one of the best things about the Institute that I'm looking forward to, not only, I mean, Clearwater Beach, I mean, great location.
Yes.
I will be running out there in the mornings. But, I'm 20 years into the field. I've met incredible people all over the industry and industry adjacent. But this Institute, I do a lot of stargazing. There are some stars, Kristen included. We've met Matt Hames. But there are stars that are going to be leading these sessions. There are stars that are going to be attending the Institute, and it's just a wonderful opportunity to be able to get to meet them and put them into your network and use them as resources. This is one of the things over the last couple of years that I've been able to do, and it's been a tremendous advantage for me as I progress in my career. So I hope that for everybody that's attending, and I can't wait to see everybody in Florida.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good point. I have to tell you, I'm starstruck every day working with you and others on this. So it's great. We will see you hopefully in Florida. Reach out to us. And again, thanks, Adam. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. See you soon.